Good evening. Welcome to the new show, PunditViews. I'm Jacob Christner, the Pundits Pundit himself, and you know me as the Pundits Pundit. But this is one of my brand new show. I call it PunditViews, where what basically I am going to be for the next last couple of weeks. I have been interviewing the sideline sports people. I've also got some in the burner at the oven at this point in time. But tonight, while I had Jay last week, I had another half of the Pundits Pundit, Jen Lewis. I had that tonight. And how are you doing tonight, Jen?
I'm good. How are you tonight, Jacob?
Good. The thing was, I had Jay last week, and he had such a good story. And this is what I love about PunditViews. We've really got something where we're telling the story. We're telling the story about all of our sideline people. And in between, I'm going to have some names to be able to interview also.
I like that.
Yeah, which is going to be awesome. And the idea of this with the sideline sports people is to let everybody know who doesn't know sideline sports, who everybody is. Okay. And I wanted to be able to get to this. And so tell me a little bit about yourself, Jen. Where were you born, everything?
I was born in Hickory, North Carolina, which is part of the Metrolina area of Charlotte. Excuse me, aka the QC. And we moved to Charlotte actually on my 3rd birthday. And we lived in the same neighborhood from the time I was 3 until I was 12. 12. Yeah, 12. Sorry. Until we moved into the house that I call like my childhood home. And I was a competitive swimmer. I was active in student government. I was a very active, high energy teenager and youth and young adult, and still am. And it kind of drives my husband insane a little bit.
So would you say that you're what they call tomboy?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I really was. And I was a competitive swimmer too.
Yeah. Now tell us a little bit about your competitive swimming career, how far you went. Where did it start?
Where did it start, or when did I decide I wanted to be a swimmer?
Either.
I decided I wanted to be a swimmer during the 82 LA Olympic Games when I was watching Mark Spitz swim. And I was like, I want to do that. Like, he was leading the pack. And I remember I was at my grandparents' house, and they lived in Garner, North Carolina, which is a suburb of Raleigh. And I remember there was like a little area between the couch and the TV, and it was just big enough for me. Like, nobody else could get into this little area, and it's
you monopolized.
Oh, it was my spot. Like, do not mess with my spot. And I don't know. I've always been very close with my family, but that's when I decided I wanted to really become a swimmer and focus my attentions. Now, my father will tell you his biggest regret as a father is that he didn't push me to be a runner, because apparently I was a really great runner. And like when he and my mom would like sign me up for like contests at McAlpine, which is a big greenway park here, I would be even like the grown men. So I don't really remember that, but because swimming, you have to use your breathing is a totally different technique than it is when you're running. So
how is it different? Difference between the breathing.
You kind of have to hold your breath. Like, first of all, you're vertical. Mm-hmm. And you just have to hold it in a different way, in a different method, and exhale it slower than you do when you're running. Like, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I just know it's different. That's a really good question.
It's one of those things I like to know myself, because eventually I'm going to get myself into swimming, go to somewhere like an LA Fitness with their pool and everything. And I wouldn't call myself the world's strongest swimmer, but I can get that way with practice.
Right.
And when to get the idea where I'm not doing one lap and I'm dead. So I'm kind of getting the idea how swimming works, as far as the breathing.
Right. And, hold on, I just Googled it. Okay. Swimmers train their breathing to be quick and short and spaced out. Swimmers therefore receive less oxygen while exercising, and it's the reason many people feel more exhausted after swimming for half an hour as compared to running for half an hour. But I was also a distance swimmer. So, and it's funny because I spent the vast majority of my career at a little known aquatic club called MAC that produces the most Olympic swimmers in the country. And no, I'm not kidding. But they kept trying to make me a sprinter. There's a lady that I will always love. Her name was Frankie Bell. She's my coach. She saved me because I was really torn to switch swim associations. But in like my first practice with her, she said, "You know your problem?" And I go, "No." She goes, "You're not a sprinter. You're a long distance swimmer." And I was like, "How do you know?" And she told me, "Your kick." Because apparently a sprinter will kick like this, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Long distance swimmer will go like this.
Oh, slower.
No, they'll still go, but they'll cross their legs.
Oh, okay.
Cross their ankles.
Oh, I see.
And you can even tell that difference in aerobic and anaerobic and long distance and sprint runners too, because look at Michael Phelps. He was a sprinter, right? Long, then thighs. Then you look at somebody like Ryan Lochte. He's got thicker thighs. Same thing with running.
Sure.
Long and lanky, sprint, more belt, more aerobic. So more long distance.
So with your swimming, like you said, short distances, long distances, is that like you're doing like, I'm not gonna say 4x100, but it's like 800 meters, 1600 meters at the long distance they talk about compared to like 100 meters and.
Yeah, I was doing the mile swim, which is 1600 meters. I was doing 400 IM. When a sprinter is going to do a 200 IM. I think I did relays for the 800 IM a couple of times because nobody really does an 800 IM individually. I feel like I did it once just for funs and giggles, but it's really not common practice. Huh?
Individual medley IM?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it was funny because I actually found out when I switched to Adam, aquatic team of Mecklenburg under Frankie Bell, she had to reteach me how to swim breaststroke because I was swimming wrong. And Frankie is also known because if there's any swimmers out there, Melvin Stewart, who held the record and world record and Olympic record in butterfly, until Michael Phelps, he had a special way of doing butterfly, and he would breathe to the side. Frankie created that for him.
Okay. So so how long did you swim?
I swam from the time I was like 3 until through college.
Okay. So did you think you burned out of it, or did you?
Oh, I definitely burned out in high school. Like my senior year in high school, I quit swimming for a while. Then I went back to it.
So overall, do you think this happens to every athlete? Like burnout? Do you think there's a reason for it? They just get worn out by it? Because I've seen athletes like this, basketball players, for instance. I've heard of them. They play since they're 4 or 5 years old. They just kind of wear out. You know what I mean? Well, Dom, it's because it is white. And I know about it, you know? It looks like 9% white tonight, I know. But thank you for Dom. But
sorry.
Why not? Please, I love this hair, and I get.
It looks good on you. You've worked hard for it.
I feel good on it. I just need to get a good tan now.
Exactly.
But no, but the biggest thing that I was going to say is, what do you think causes burnout more and more? Do you think it's just the repetition over and over? Do you think it's just like someone is at an age where they just, because I've seen this with basketball players. I've always had a saying, at 10 years old, it's a dream. At 20, it's work. And in between, you figure it out, you know, and if you want to be able to be a pro, because it's so different. Now, what do you think causes the burnout?
For me, I probably should have just taken a month-long break. Hey, Will. For me, I should have just taken a break because I was ready to go back to it after 3 weeks. I don't know if it was that. I don't remember, or I just wanted to see what else was out there. But quitting swimming my senior year in high school was probably one of my bigger mistakes, and I was really glad I went back to it.
You think it was youth? You think it was just youth?
Yeah, it was youth. I wanted to see what else was out there, what else I could do. Like I had given up so much for swimming.
Yeah.
Like I did literally like this was in high school, this was my life. Get up, go to school, go to my junior and senior year in high school. I actually went to a second school because math was not my best nature subject. So it's a special school to help me with math. Again, student activities. I was part of a student government association. Then swim practice, then home to do schoolwork, and then back again. And swimming was like 4 or 5 hours out of my day alone. So in summertime, Frankie was very adamant that education was more important than swimming. So during school year, we only had one practice a day, but it was 6 days a week. So and then we would have like recovery Mondays if we had a swim meet. But I don't know. I loved it. It gave me a camaraderie. I really thought some of those folks would be like my friends forever. I only talked to one or two of the people that I used to swim with still. And that's okay. I hope everybody's doing great. I love it when I run into people that I used to swim with. But I know one of the guys that used to swim at Mac back in, is it the 04 Olympics? No. 2012 Summer Olympics. He was still swimming. He was at the Olympic trials, and I was happy for him. Like, more power to you, sir.
Right.
Would you I'm glad I had it. It made me who I am. I compete. I'm very competitive. I'm competitive with myself.
Yeah.
I have a set of expectations for myself that no one else has, but I also know when I hit that wall, I got to stop.
Yeah. And I get that. And it's like, I learned this from as I got older. Every kid has a dream. Like, you want to be the next basketball player, next star. See, I played all the sports as a kid, and then I did baseball, basketball, did 2 years of flag football, and then tennis. I played tennis for a long time. So that's why I would say that's my best sport. Mm-hmm. I say this, I did 7 years of baseball, 6 of basketball, 2 of football, like flag football. Let's see, I've done 30 years of tennis. There's over 30 years of tennis. I did 7 years of martial arts. Want to go back to that. And I did 3 years of hockey. But there was never a time. All of it was just kind of club league, that kind of deal. I did 1 year of high school tennis. Right. I learned this as I got older. It's like, you always have a dream. You want to be pro, but you're not. You learn that for one thing, you're not good enough. When you're not good enough, you're not good enough. Period. That's just the thing there. But another thing that you learn is there is just another level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, but I see we have everybody here tonight. Hey.
You know what, Jay? That was what you heard coming out of your own tushy, sir.
Hey, sorry. No, that's sorry. I'm sorry.
but thank you for spelling her name correctly, Jay.
Yeah. But I learned this. It's like all the sports that I loved, and I loved everything. And you always have a dream when you have a kid. You learn this as you got older. There's a level of burnout that people have when you're competitive like you were. Mm-hmm. And I never got that. I never got to that level. I never played enough. I didn't play I didn't play tennis. I didn't play tennis long enough. I got to take seasons off. You brought up you did. I got to take seasons off. Okay. I talk about this with John McEnroe. I talk about this with Wayne Gretzky. They took seasons off. He said he put the sticks away to play baseball.
Right. And I had 3 weeks off a year.
Yeah. So
wait, hold on. 3.5 weeks a year because we had half a week off for Christmas.
Oh, okay. So I see, I've talked to tennis players. I've talked to tennis pros. I've met one at what used to be the BB&T tournament. I've met one. He literally said to me how much he was like top 100 in the world. He despised tennis. But it's all he knew. He'd been doing this since he was 4 years old. Mm-hmm. So those are things I'm learning. But really, overall, after you did swimming. You said you did it through college. Did you finish college in swimming, or did you quit?
I ended up quitting because honestly, the program wasn't right for me, and I wasn't right for the program.
Where'd you go to school?
Catawba. I mean, it had some great swimmers. There's some great student athletes there. I loved Frankie. Like, Frankie was my coach. I also had another coach when I first started. Her name was Kitty. And I like Kitty and Frankie were my two favorite coaches.
Right. So,
and why are we talking about Andre Agassi, Dom?
Well, tennis and swimming, they go together so much. Plus the fact he's on his 8th beer.
No, I think it's his second. Thank you. I yelled at him earlier.
So you say you went to Catawba. What'd you study?
Communications and personal finance.
Oh, okay. So that's where you get the banking.
Kind of. But I really suck in math. So I've always surrounded myself with people who are good in math, and I wanted to overcome my suckiness in math. But what I found out was, whereas I do suck in math, like 2 + 2, I actually really have an eye for forensic accounting. I don't do that for the bank. I do a lot of other stuff for the bank, but forensic accounting was really cool to me when I had that experience.
I had a weird thing with math. I'm very good with numbers. But once I got to algebra, I was doing the 2x minus y equals z and carrying the 2 because I was good with numbers. Well, that got me in trouble in freshman year of college.
Why?
Oh, yeah. I was pushing fantasy football out of all of that. I'm sure you were. I'm sure he was. No, I did that. Now, let's see here. Thank you, Matt. You killed me here. Some say I'm okay at communications. Well, you're on our show,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's on our show, but it's like, so yeah, it's like I did. Like I said, I went to school myself. I did math. Let's see, math. We were bringing up math. That's my fault. I got frozen for a second. Okay. Math. I could carry the 2 out of the 2x minus y equals z, so I wasn't doing formulas. Well, here was the problem. I had myself a teacher that was that issue. They wanted me to do the formulas on my derp. Uh-oh. So I got an F. So there was the end of my math career there. But I still am a master speller, so there.
So I had a teacher. So when I was in 9th grade, a new middle school opened up, and I got transferred from where I had been going to the new middle school. Hated it. And I met a teacher there. And to protect the guilty, I will not say her name. But she was also the cheerleading coach.
Was it Miss Ratchet?
To me, yes. To others, no. Okay. So, she got mad at me because she was my geometry teacher and algebra teacher, pre-algebra teacher. And she got mad at me because I did not want to audition for cheerleading. Because I've never been a skinny mini. I was like a size 8, 10 then. And for a 9th grader, that's built, but I was a swimmer. So like I was in shape. I wasn't necessarily fat. I was thick.
So you were beating up cheerleaders.
No, I wasn't beating any of the cheerleaders up. Like when I was younger, I wanted to be a cheerleader, but she wanted me to be a cheerleader so bad. When I said thank you, but I can't because I'm a swimmer, she made my life hell. Like literally my parents had to have parent-teacher conferences with her and the school principal because of this, because she was so bad, like mad that I wouldn't be one. Fast forward to high school, I get into geometry. Guess who my geometry teacher is in high school?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's cool because I was in school with Antoine Jameson. So he and I would really roll our eyes at the same time at her. It was kind of fun.
So Antoine Jameson, that's pretty cool. So
yeah, he was older than I, but yeah.
Pros and any other famous people you were with in high school?
No, probably none that really. I mean, everybody I went to high school with is doing pretty well in life. But I remember his high school girlfriend. I was terrified of her because. And I wasn't scared of any people, but yeah, like I was like, am I allowed to even talk to him? But it's funny because he and I had a couple of classes together, and she and I had Latin together. So yeah. I mean, she wouldn't remember me. I could still tell you what she looked like in high school. Couldn't tell you now, but I remember once like he came to school with some of his buddies from Carolina. And I walked past him in the mall. And he was like, yo, Jen, what's up? And I was like, hey. He's like, you still mad, girl? And I was like, yeah, because at that time I was misinformed and I was a Duke fan. But I've changed the error of my ways. And I always respected Dean. But, hey.
See, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I seem to run into the people who've met people down the line or were with somebody or whatever, famous. Like, for instance, I knew this girl who, I can just put it to you this way. I don't know if she dated him or if she was friends with him, but Sean Kanan from the Karate Kid 3.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it was date or friends or whatever, but she knew him through, basically same age, everything like that. And basically I heard those stories. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, he loves his smoking meth and staying up for days. But no, you talked about Antoine Jameson. You talked about, well, I have one person from my high school who was kind of famous besides the basketball players, kind of had that.
Who's that?
Brink was on one of those straight to DVD American Pie movies.
Okay.
Yeah, way old. He's way younger than me, so I never really got the guy. But you get my point. I think he's about 5 years younger than I am. But he went to the high school and everything. And then another one that went to the high school, he's much younger than me, is Jonathan Van Ness.
Okay.
Yeah, Jonathan Van Ness. There's a long thing to that, but it's like, yeah, he went to the high school, so yeah. It's like he's just much younger, so.
Well, Steph Curry went and his brother Seth went to my best friend's school. We're a little bit older than they are, though, just a little bit. But
yeah.
And then I lived uptown. I knew a lot of the guys who were in rookie contracts and things like that with the Panthers. I will protect the guilty, but I looked at one of the guys and I was like, I'm not romantically into you, right? He was like, yeah. We're chill. And I was like, you can do better.
So you worked at Catawba, you did. So what were your subjects in high school and college that you really liked, that got you were really interested, since math was your kind of sucking deal,
I was really into history. Depending on what English, I was actually really into theater in high school. And before that, I did a lot of plays with like the children's theater here in Charlotte. Because when I first started swimming, it was just like 2 or 3 days a week. It wasn't until I switched to Adam that it became 6 days a week. But we, what do we do? Sorry. But,
so this explains why you like my acting career and everything going on.
And that's why, like, when you've like sent me some things that you've done dry reads for, I'm like, wait, what? Like, so I have a little bit of a history, but I had this major panic episode when I was auditioning for something in college, and I froze. And the guy I was seeing at the time, I looked at him, he looked at me, and I was like, and this is like, I'm somebody who, like, in 9th grade, I had saved a show in theater, like, while we were live, because my co-star did the same thing. He froze, and I was like, okay, I think I'm done. But like, I still love watching it and going to the theater, things like that.
Oh yeah. No,
that's true. That is a very valid statement.
No, I get that part. It was so crazy. Martial arts got it. I was somebody who was terribly stage fright, which is a funny part because I ended up becoming a trained actor. But I had ridiculous stage fright. And
you wanted to beat your fear.
Huh?
You wanted to beat your fear.
Yeah. It's like I had ridiculous. And it's like, it was so ridiculous that I was reading at 3 and spelling at 4. I could do 10th grade spelling words in 3rd grade. Like nothing. Yeah. But yet I went on a stage after I won a classroom spelling bee and missed like necklace, which is like the very first word. And I said, because I just froze up.
Right.
And I just froze up. And it's like, and then all those, and then I'd be the type that would throw up on the side of the road for tests, and I was just that ridiculous. Then I took martial arts, and I had a teacher who he saw that I was ridiculously nervous. So this is the funniest part. For some reason, even though I had the alphabetical order that would be number 4 in our class, for some reason I'm always number 1 right in front of me. Didn't think about it. 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4. Didn't even think about it.
Right.
Then I'd get my orange, and then even like on my yellow belt, you had to put a stripe on me because I did so bad because of nerves. And finally, I get my orange belt. And then when I get my orange belt, it was pretty good. Wasn't bad. Then I go up to the sheet. I just go up to the table. He's gone. I think he went to his office. I go up there. I was supposed to be 4th. He was doing that on purpose to get me out of nerves.
That's sweet though.
He did that to get me out of my nerves. And it took me about 5 belt tests to get me out of my dang nerves because I would be cottonmouth.
Yeah. Well, and I think I remember once before I really started swimming on a competitive level, the neighborhood swim and racket club everybody belonged to when we were kids.
Yeah.
I had a coach throw me in the pool once.
John Wayne?
No, and it scared the crap out of me. And I think honestly, it shocked me so much I didn't want to get near the water for a minute. But yeah, then I started deciding that I was going to swim. My dad was always my parents have always been my biggest supporters. They've always been you're either going to do it and you're going to do it all the way or you're not going to do it. Your choice, Buttercup.
Well, that was my thing. It was I wouldn't say that I did any of that to get over the stage fright because I don't think I realized I had stage fright until it was there.
Right.
So then I get into acting, and one of my very first plays, not kidding you, it was called Murder at the Italian Redneck Wedding.
That could be so many plays right there.
A murder mystery type deal, you know what I'm saying? So it was one of my very first one, and I'm like, I played the reverend or whatever, and of course I'm not trained yet, so of course I was whatever.
That's so true, Will.
You two are best friends, but no, that was but I'll tell you this, I wasn't doing any good. I wasn't trained, but I remember I think back and I remember how it was 104 degrees. There was no air conditioning, 104 degrees inside. And I was getting really, I was all about to pass out. And
see, that's when you want to become a swimmer, isn't it?
Yeah, right. and then actors, and then there realized that were trained that bailed me out. But then but that was when I realized it's time to go get some training.
Right.
And so little by little, I've just gotten confidence a little over the years, and and it's helped with sales, it's helped with jobs, it helps with job interviews, all that kind of stuff. Just get in front of a camera, and it really helped here. Well,
and that's part of why I went to do communications, because I really always wanted to get into sports journalism, just because sports is. I mean, I joke around. You've heard me say this a million times. My dad had me catching a football while I was still in the crib. And my mom will pretty much back up that statement. But so yeah, I was telling my father-in-law the other night, I was like, the girliest things about me, my makeup collection, my shoe collection, and my purses. And I said, everything else about me, nah.
Now, here's the thing. Who was your team before the Panthers? Because you remember, you're around my age range, so the Panthers were in 95, 96?
Matthew Wilder, I believe this one's for you. But the my dad grew up being a big Browns, and at that time, the Redskins fan.
Yeah.
So that's who was always on TV.
Thank you for saying that name, because that was
and that was the name that's accurately correct. They're now the Commanders, so
I get annoyed when I see these sports people or these tweet people like Washington versus the Bears. It's like, no, it was the Redskins.
Right.
Let's quit stepping on eggshells here. That's what it was.
History is history. It's in the rearview mirror, but it's still history.
But don't say the Redskins now, because they would be idiots. Fans that do that, they'd be idiots. It's the Commanders. It's just what it. But no, growing up, you know me, Chicago Bears all the way. I was with my. That's an interesting story.
But Dom and I debate on if you actually like the Bears or not.
No. That. Let me explain that, okay? No, it is true, but you've got to understand 38 years. You got to understand something I know what Don was saying on that, but I'm very, very agitated with that franchise, with the fan base. So me saying I told you so, basically, it's a little bit of ego, but it's true. I get you every time this team starts getting any kind of momentum. I can already see the fans just like irritated, and they want something to look prettier. Then they'll start losing again, and it's happened the last 15 years. So yeah, time I get, especially when I'm someone that wants winning. I don't care about the rushing records.
Right.
I want winning, and so yeah, I am very irritated. But no, I love the Bears. But I've been a Bears fan since '84. So I got to see.
I remember watching the Bears in '84 a little bit. Like I really didn't understand what was going on because I was 6?
No.
Oh yeah,
6. I was, and I did understand very fast.
I understood it was time to go. I understood the Super Bowl. I understood that the Bears were the best team then. And we're America's team. I don't care what you say, Jerry Jones. They were not the Cowboys. Sorry, Megan, I love you. But yeah, no, I just remember. I mean, I remember some of it, but honestly, like I was into swimming.
Dave and Buster's co-founder committed suicide.
What? Why?
Just saw it right now on TMZ.
That sucks. Oh, okay. And hold on. So, you know how we were talking last night, how we wanted okay. They have raised Damar Hamlin's charity has raised. Are you ready? You're sitting down, right?
Yeah, of course.
But as of this moment, 5.462 million.
What did I say though when it was at
You said 10 million.
Yes, I did.
Got it.
Yep.
I'm gonna double that. I want 20.
Yeah. Keep raising it. That's what and I'm very proud to hear that. It's like, but subject at hand, I was bringing up the thing was my Bears were my world. My Bears really are my world. Yeah. Do I sound irritated? I mean, I know what Dom is saying. Yeah. Better believe it, because I want winning. Where it comes from, where my irritation comes from, is from 1984 to the first 4 games of 1989. They were 65 wins, 17 losses, 1 Super Bowl, 3 NFC title games. Understand, and I understood everything from that early age.
So being in North Carolina,
yeah,
we didn't have really a professional team. The closest team we had were the Falcons, and
Bears fan.
Falcons. Anyway, they like NASCAR, WWE. Those were the things that were on TV all the time, because NASCAR, born in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
WWE, born in the Carolinas. Without those two things, we would have never had George Shinn and the Charlotte Hornets. Now, they were more part of my like higher elementary school years through high school, because we didn't get the Panthers until 95. I graduated in 96. So, yeah. And
the Panthers have always. There's one thing about Charlotte. I can say this about this, and I've been to the stadium. I've been to the stadium watching the Bears game. It was during the time Orton was playing, And I can say this: Charlotte fans are committed.
Yes,
much so. And I give them all the respect. And boy, oh boy, I wish the Hornets fans were committed the way they were when I remember them in 1988 to 92.
Yeah.
That should.
But George Shin killed it for us.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure that's why Michael Jordan bought the Hornets, because he used to say playing in Charlotte was the hardest team to play for.
Oh yeah.
Because of our stadium.
Oh yeah. And see, Jordan, to me, I've always said this about Jordan. It's like to me, greatest basketball player of all time. Even though there's newer eras with the LeBron and everything or whatever. But yeah, you are an underrated sports city. That's right, Will. And the thing I look at is I really believe heart of hearts, there's just something missing with his ownership because he's so overly competitive. Overly competitive. He wants to win badly, which is, I respect that about Jordan. But there's something missing. It feels like that he still thinks, and you're right, like you said, yeah, he thinks he can beat the players that are on the floor. He probably can. But to be able to win like that, you can't have that thought process, because how are they going to beat anybody else?
Right. And I mean, I don't know. I've always gotten Jordan's competitive nature. That's never bothered me.
Oh, no. I'm a Bird guy. I mean, Jordan got everything from him, other than one defense. I don't take offense to Jordan being better than Bird, because Bird, for one thing, Bird was injured most of the time, and he had only 12 out of 13 years. He had that.
But they had a really good rivalry too, and they respect each other.
Yep. And it's like, and I don't get, number one, Jordan couldn't beat him. Number two, he's the number two, he took most of Bird's game. And you know something? If you can be the best off of somebody who created it, that's almost better than be the best.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like, outside of the one-on-one, which is all Jordan, I mean, anything from weak side defense to to all those fast breaks to all the stuff like that, that's Larry. So I can
it really is. I get that. And I mean, Larry Johnson was his own, he's got his own place in history.
Yeah, I know. And I remember watching Bird's final year when Larry Johnson, when Grandmama came in. I love it. I remember this. There's this game I watched. It was this year, actually. It was a couple of years ago during COVID. I watched one of those games. Mm-hmm. First quarter, Bird smoked it for 14 points, and he had just gotten off of an injury too. He was off for 25 games. Got off an injury. He was just smoking Larry Johnson. Yeah, really athletic dude. He's just smoking him without moving. And it's welcome to the league.
Hello, my friend. Exactly.
Yeah, welcome to the league, and so you've been sportive. So what all sport are you all? Basketball and football, or what other sports you've been into?
Obviously swimming. I like gymnastics. Soccer I'm trying to get into, but I really sucked when I played. So, So
what injuries did you get from sports?
I was just always a hyperactive kid. I joke around and say that I'm so ADHD, I make the H a capital H. So I've just always got a lot of high energy. I have to really teach myself to slow down, even in my speech.
No injuries. No injuries.
Oh, did I have any injuries?
Yeah. What injuries did you get from sports?
I was a competitive swimmer. I have a bum knee. That was it. I mean, it's not even that bum. It just sometimes tricks out of place sometimes. But,
right.
Yeah, nothing from sports. Really, except not at this point in time anyway.
Did you get any injuries later on or something like that, just from anything specific, getting older?
I was in a car accident and I have a permanently dislocated right shoulder, which is why I can't swim anymore.
Oh, geez. I was going to ask that. I was expecting, because we talk about how the swimming and everything. I was going to ask you that next.
I can't really swim anymore. Not to the levels that I used to.
Right. Here's the thing. You said that you could. You said not at the levels. Now, hypothetically, say that you got yourself back to the pool. Now, remember, you were a long distance swimmer.
Right.
The strokes of I can understand not doing the strokes of the speed swimming, of the short distance swimming. Could you do the long distance swimming thing, or with you?
I don't know. I haven't tried it.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just because like it hurts. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's permanent arthritis, which is probably the antithesis of what people think. But when you're putting that much power on your shoulder, it's a lot.
Yeah. Understood there.
Yeah.
So how did you, now let's get into this part. I asked this last week to Jay, right after I got his story. How did you learn about sideline sports? How did you get into sideline sports?
Sorry. I have a page called Unlimited Sports, and I brought.
What was it called?
It's Unlimited Sports.
Yeah.
And I had a friend, some guy, had joined our page, and he kept posting all these articles. I was like, dude, who's this Alex Fleming cat? And long story short, I made Alex, Carrie and I talked. I made Alex a moderate or an admin on our group because he was always posting, always on there, and that's how we that's how I got involved. And Alex called me. He's like, I know what a fan you are. I'm starting this new show called the NFL Carousel. I'd like to have you on. And then I brought Will in because JB was starting the NBA Carousel. I brought Will in, and
meet Will. Right? Interrupted. How did you meet Will?
At Hornets games.
So he just sat next to you, or
in front of me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like literally diagonally in front of me. And so, yeah, he's like a little brother.
So Alex, since I hear all these great deals. See, and I in passing met Alex twice.
Right.
Passing, and then he passed. He passed away. And it's sad, and it's like every time people tell me what did I miss? And it's like I mean, everybody says he and I would have had some great conversations.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah. I missed out, and I feel sorry for that too, because it's one of the things that I love about a lot of our people at Sideline is we have intelligent conversations, and I wish I would have had more of a chance to meet with Alex.
Yeah, and we can talk more about that later on too.
Definitely.
Alex was a really good guy. He meant a lot to a lot of people. Eric might be I can have a conversation with you about Alex. Eric would probably be the best one to have that conversation with.
Right. Eric will be on this show one time. I was going to say this. Now we're getting down to the end, so I have a 3-question deal that we're going to be working on that I always talked about. I asked this to Jay last week. I'm starting with you. Just 3 quick questions.
Okay.
Number 1, you get to pick the team. You wake up tomorrow. You are the owner of a team. It can be your Hornets. It can be your Panthers. Anything. You're the owner of the team. What are the things you're going to do to improve it right now? Just pick one.
Hiring Steve Wilkes as my head coach. I'll take Jim Harbaugh as an AOC, and then changing the turf. Can you hold on 1 second? I'm so sorry.
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
I was so exciting looking for about 4 seconds there. But so what kind of turf would you change it to?
Grass.
So is it not grass?
No.
Oh, okay. So at least it's not.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's the fake stuff. AstroTurf.
Not AstroTurf like in Philadelphia in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Bears until 88. So that's number 1. Number 2, you wake up in the morning and you're the president of the United States. What's your number 1 issue?
Not going there.
No,
not going there.
I don't care what your side is. Remember, I do yin and yang. So I have everybody. It doesn't matter to me.
I know.
You can go.
No. Just take no. Just take no. I'm not doing there.
Oh, okay.
Too volatile.
No, there's no volatile to it.
I know, but yeah, no.
All right, so that's respectable. And number three and final question: Where would you like to take this place, this show in the next 5 years? Not show, but Sideline Sports and your thing with sports in the next 5 years.
I want to start making money off of it. and have a couple of other shows that 4-letter network keeps stealing from us.
Right. And those shows, you have Chicks and Salsa and Three Chicks in a Pod. Tell me about
them. Just 3 chicks, 4 chicks talking sports at 7:30 on Tuesday nights. Then you can find me on Confidential during the season. Thursday nights, Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. And when we started up again, the NBA Carousel as well.
Very nice. And you know something? You've been a good for me.
Can you hold on one more second? I'm sorry, Jacob.
Yep. Well, you know,
sorry.
I wanted to, and the thing is, and just to let you know, I do have a respect for what you said on number 2. I want to say this real fast. I mean, we've been great friends for this since we've all done this.
Yes.
And just understand, that's why I do Yin and Yang. It's why I do Pundit. We do Pundit on Wednesday nights. It's like everything we do, and it's why I love about Sideline Sports and what we do is everything is conversational. Everything is everybody feel to talk about.
Jacob, I'm really sorry. I need to get going. My husband needs my help really bad. I'm sorry, honey.
I wrap up.
All right. I will talk to you later. Thank you.
Awesome. You have a wonderful night.
You too.